Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. This is Martina and today I'm back with this Cutie, and that's also her name. She is a book of inspiration, and let me explain a little bit about it. I have been asked by some of you if I can make tutorials, and admittedly this so far currently is quite difficult because my working space is really limited, and I think this is even more relevant, my working style is highly chaotic. I'm not well organized. I have things all over the place, and this is part of the fun for me. So I think showing you how I do this will not be very beneficial for you. So I have to think about a way how I can inspire you a little bit more. And once I come up with a good process and procedure for myself, then probably I will be doing tutorials. But for the time being, sorry, I don't. But I was thinking about something else. So I created this small book of, I call it inspiration. It's a cutie, and this is her name, Cutie. She is pretty, she is small, but she is packed with some different styles of crafting. And I thought maybe the future owner will gain some ideas, some inspiration, or use it for journaling, because that's possible as well. So, but before further going into any lengthy explanation, let's just jump right into it. I give you the measurements first. You see, she is a handful, and her size is 12.5 centimeters, 8.5 centimeters, 3.5 centimeters. Now the inch, and this means 5 inches times 3.3 times 1.4. I have closed this book of inspiration with this pretty sari silk, and it's not attached, it's loose, so you can do whatever you want to do with it. The cover is made from design paper, and this design paper has a very pretty floral design and also some glittering, but in order to make it really resistant to tear and a little bit more durable, I have added varnish on top of it so that it doesn't destruct whatever. Then I have created a little doily or a little cluster from different laces, different materials. I have added this metal thing with this little rose and an applique, and around the edge, as usual, I have attached this really pretty floral lace or ruffle. Yeah, so within the book you will find many floral designs, because that is let's say, the theme of it. But as I have said before, it's more about showing you different things you can do when crafting, when creating a journal, and maybe it's some inspiration. So let's open it. You see it, when you look at it, what I really liked is that you also see this really pretty ruffle from this side, and it's as pretty, almost as pretty as from the other side, and it nicely matches the cardstock which I have attached on the inside of the cover. And then I have also added a pocket which I have further decorated with some nice trim. In this pocket there are 3 tags, some of them are sewn around. This one I have created, and maybe I tell you a little bit more about it. What I did here is I created this, let's say, fancy design by stamping on white paper. It's cardstock paper. Then I added some coloring pigments, and also the stamping I did with distress oxide and ink, and then I sprayed it. I sprayed it with water so that it really melts. But you can also, on some parts, you can still see the shape of the stamping. And then after this has been dried, I stamped with another stamp which shows these antique writings, which gives it a little bit more vintagey edge. And finally, what I did is I embossed it. So you have this nice pattern. And I think the embossing really made a difference, because it really gives it a little bit more texture. So, and it sits here and there, so or this way. Then on the other side, what I have done here is, I have used, which I recently did, I have used a transparent fabric which has some embroidery on it, and I've glued it around this page. And on top of it, I have added this picture of a flower fairy. I think I like it because of the transparency. You can see the paper behind it, but you also can see and also touch the embroidery of this fabric. And I think it's a nice idea, and I have turned it around so that also on the back side you still see parts of this embroidery. And here I have created a little pocket in a different form than usual, and I've added 2 tags. This is just some nice paper. And on this side here, what I've done here is, I have cut a paper doily in half, done some decoration on top of it, and it shows a miniature landscape. Added it on a piece of paper, and you can flip this paper so you would have space for writing. And I have also constructed it in a way that it forms a pocket, and in this pocket there is a little tag. So it shows how versatile you can make things, and also how for the person who gets it, it's a kind of an adventure to find the things. And I love this kind of playful stuff. On the next page, some pretty cardstock and some pocket here, and of course tags. Again, this is one of my self-created tags, and this way what I did here is I did decoupaging with napkins and old book paper. You can see the old book paper. Then I added glitter on it. You see a little bit of this rose glitter. Let it dry, embossed it, and put glossy varnish on it. So this makes the effect. Those of you who have seen my other videos, or some of my other videos, might know that I'm addicted to ruffles, and because of this I have also added a ruffle here. And very often I use sari silk or silk for ruffling, but here I have done a little ruffle with some lace which I have coffee dyed before, and I think it gives a nice effect. On the next page, this is again a kind of a doily type decoration, and I have attached it to a smaller strip of paper here, and also made a pocket out of it. And in this pocket there is another tag which I have created in the way I have just explained. So put it back. Some special paper. So this is a cluster of various fabrics, and I'm going to attach it. I still have to make some construction here to make a paper clip out of it, or attach a paper clip so that it can stay here on this page. I do this later. Yeah, this is just trim. On the back side, another side pocket which I have decorated with lace. I love decorating with lace, and it can be on sometimes very small pieces of lace which make a difference and gives it a different tune and a different look. I did a lot of coffee dyeing. I added a lot of coffee dyed papers, as like this one. And what I also did is I tore the edges, because I wanted to give it a little bit this worn, torn look. On the next page, something which I just started to do recently, I used one of my butterfly die cuts, which I have created by, as I explained before, decoupaging, glittering, embossing. I have used this and turned this into a pocket. And I think it's so nice, especially in this case when I have added some other butterfly mini tags to it. It looks really nice. Then the other thing which makes a good effect is when you attach paper, not in the straight way, but in this diagonal way. And in this case I have used old book paper, because also of the haptic and the feel, and because also of the color. I think probably, no, this one is not coffee dyed, this is the original aging effect which you see on these pages. Some trim, some paper which I have found in an old or older notebook, and it shows some nice drawings here, and I like it. And I have turned it into a pocket, and in this pocket I have attached another tag, which I have, because it does not really fit completely into it, I have positioned it like this, and I think it looks nice, and it also makes sure that you can see the ribbon when you close the book. Some lace, some stenciling here, which I did, and when I did it, I realized that it perfectly matches the design of this brocade fabric, which when I bought it, I was a little bit disappointed because I bought it online and of course you don't see what you get. But when I got it, I saw that it's really, really bright gold, and then I coffee dyed it and now it looks better and it serves the purpose. What I did here is I have some handmade, not from me, but from someone else, handmade paper which I've torn to create this diagonal pocket, and then I have added this fabric, and this is a double pocket now, and I did some stamping here. This is one of my self-dyed silk ruffles, and I did the dyeing with watercolors, and I like it a lot because when you use this light silk, the color really colors melt into each other, and it gives a nice effect. So it's, yeah, you see it's lighter here, then it gets darker, then I've added some green, gives another tone. It's a nice process and it's a nice result. Some stamping here, belly band on eco-dyed paper. You see here if you can see the leaves. So I like to use coffee dyed and eco-dyed paper. Sometimes I also add avocado dyed, but so far this is not my favorite. So we come to another pocket, and here what I've used is a circle. And of course you can turn a circle into a side pocket like this one. And this is another one of my self-created tags by decoupaging, using napkins, using old book paper, and in this case also glitter. In this case I have not embossed it but kept it flat. And I have, as I always do when I do these kind of tags, I have added varnish on top. Sometimes glossy, sometimes not glossy. Not glossy. Okay, so again some nice paper here. Again the diagonal paper, coffee dyed. You can see the traces. Another pocket, and in this case I have used some fabric scraps which I had, and because it's a flower booklet, I used the flower motif, and I think it's nice, and I have attached it to some cardstock with this design paper from Stamperia, and you see the green nicely matches. I love to do these miniature things because they are so cute, so I love these cuties. Here, what you see here is a small piece of self-dyed paper. I achieved this design or this effect by having a coffee dyed paper, again dyed with some color pigments which I sprayed with water so that they really melt, and they also do melt the coffee stains. So it gives a nice effect. You never know what comes out, but usually it's very nice. And then I added a little trim over here. Another circle, and the specialty here is the design of this circle, and here I have another tag, and the tag on the opposite side, which sits in a belly band, is the same. You see this rose and you see this rose. So this is just decoration of these very cute children shoes, really lovely. Another belly band, and I have used some embossed paper, because I also like when you do journaling or when you get a journal, I think part of the joy is the different feel and the different touch of the material. So I have used this belly band and I have added 2 tickets here. So Something important which I have not yet mentioned. I gave you the dimensions, but I didn't tell you how many pages this little one has. She has 88 pages, not counting each and every little one page, but 88 pages, front and back, and she comes in 2 signatures. So this was number 1. Now we come to number 2. And number 2, the decoration is from some light paper which I have glued on some other paper, and I have further decorated with this lace. And this lace was also some of the purchases where I was not as happy when I got it because it was too bright, but you know, coffee dyeing helps a lot. So I coffee dyed it, and now it has this vintage look, and it nicely matches the color scheme of this paper. There's another belly band on this side. What I did here is I attached a little piece of paper with this nice drawing and some lines, and I also attached a little piece of fabric which I've sewn on some coffee dyed paper so that it can be used for journaling. I'll put this back later. One of my beloved ruffles. On the next page, this is a flippy out, so you can flip this up. You could write here if you wished, and then you have another kind of a belly band / pocket thing. I've added a strip of paper saying welcome, and I also added a little tag. So you can turn many things in a journal, you can turn into hidden pockets or secret places, and this is part of the fun, I guess. Here I have used lace for a pocket, and in this pocket, or this lace has a nice color originally, but it was too pinkish. So again, coffee dyeing makes the deal, and I coffee dyed it. Now it has this brownish tone, and because of this I have added this nice paper with some lace motifs and also a tag or a journaling card in the same color scheme. Vellum, which I have coffee dyed as well, because when you do coffee dyeing or put water on vellum, it crinkles, and then it also makes this nice sound. Again, diagonal paper, some lace, cotton lace, which I have because the lace was bigger, so I cut it, and I love this effect because it gives this torn, worn, vintage look, and I've sewn it on the page, so most of the laces and trims and ruffles which I use are sewn, not all but most. On the next page, what you see here, let me just take this off. So this is an envelope which I have done by this origami technique, and I have added one of the butterflies which I did by die cutting. So it's a kind of a closure, and because I like the colors, they match each other so perfectly well. And of course there's also something inside, and this is a little, it comes in the form of a stamp, but it's not a stamp, of course. So I put this back because otherwise I don't know where it was. So on the right side, what you see here is a double pocket. And in this double pocket, which is made out of some design paper, where I have added the first small pocket, this pocket here, and then I added another one, and I added these tiny tags in there. I love it. I love the colors. I love this rose, and I love the designs. And I also love this one, although it's not rose, but it breaks the color, because otherwise to my taste it would be all too rosy. So I have this vintagey tag attached here, or put in here, in order to give it a little contrast. And I did some lace decoration. Little stamp over there, a rose. Here this is a paper doily, and I've turned this paper doily into a tuck spot just by folding it and attaching a paper clip which I've decorated with some sari silk, and behind it there is another journaling card showing the Eiffelturm, Tour de Fell. This is decoration. Has no meaning, has no purpose, just to look nice. And here what I did is en miniature is, some of you who have seen some of my other journals or videos might know that I love this flip out pages where I have turned the side flip into a pocket, and this is what I did here. So it's just, this is the paper. I folded it and I glued on another piece of paper, left it open so that it forms a pocket. And I love it not only that it's a pocket, I love it because you could add decoration with ruffles. And because this is a miniature booklet, I've added this little tag, and I've added this, look at it, it's so cute, it's so tiny, this little ruffle over there. Then you can have it like this, and if you don't like it, you put it away. Some lace again. Here I have also created a multiple pocket, but in this case these are 3 pockets. And I've used, on purpose of course, I have used different flower motifs because it's a flower book of inspiration. This one is, as you see, diagonal, so it gives home for this tag, which also matches in terms of colors. Then I have this really pretty hydrangea tag, which I love, and it's because it's also a little bit brownish, it breaks the pink. So it sits here. And in this tiny one, I have tiny tags like this, or like that, whatever you wish. So this is the center spot. On this page I have turned the wrapping, some decoration on a wrapping thing. I turned it into a double pocket on 2 sides. So this was the decoration. So I just folded it. It forms a little pocket here. Is the home for this small tag. Then you turn it. Then it forms another pocket, and this is another journaling card, if you wish. I have glued a little piece of nicer paper on this paper, which is the opposite side of another paper, because it was such a small piece, and I thought it doesn't have any purpose. So I glued this one onto it, and again the color scheme matches so nicely. Here we come to another pocket. This is the picture of a mansion, very nice. And again, this is a pocket because here I have added another of my self-created tags, and you can use it like this. This stems from, I think, from a blouse. I cut it out because I thought it's a nice decoration. I did again some stenciling over here, and as you might see, when I do stenciling, typically I use multiple colors because I like when the colors melt into each other. On the next page, what I did here is I have turned this frame, which is a die cut, which I further decorated with some gold waxing, and you see that the gold waxing has also turned on the opposite side. Sorry, but this happened. And I have glued, from behind I have glued a picture of some flowers, and I have turned this into a side pocket and have attached this journaling card, which has a similar design like the this one in the frame so that it looks as if this is the thing which you see when you put it behind, like this. Of course, what you could do, you could leave it blank and just put this behind so that you really see what is behind, if this is clear what I said. So this is another lace trim over here, a tuck spot, and in this tuck spot I wanted to add this tag because of the colors. They match so nicely, and they also match very nicely to the screen on the opposite side. Of course, you cannot do it well with this ribbon, so what I did is I do it like this, and I think, why not? And then you also have the effect that the ribbon shows on the bottom. So, this is Cutie, the Flower Book of Inspiration. I hope you liked it. I hope it served its purpose, and I hope you got some ideas. And if you want to have it in your hands, you can find it in my Etsy shop. And if you liked what you saw, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I hope to see you soon, and I wish you all a very nice day. Thank you very much, Martina. Bye-bye.